Hello, everybody. So it's dark here in Arizona. In Wyoming, it's been dark for a couple hours. But we were talking about a fire pit, and so I am in my front bedroom. I have the lights all off because I thought it was like being outside. And so I wanted to talk about fire pits. Hi, Todd. Hi, Nisi. Hi, Anne. And looks like Melanie was in earlier, said that she would be popping in. And Nisi is going to be on my Monday night next week. And so, totally excited about that. I think you will fall in love with her. And I'm just totally excited. And let me do this. I'm just going to try to do, my Nightbot has had a little bit of trouble posting all of my different members that have channels. And so I went in, I did a bunch of stuff today to Nightbot, and hopefully it will pop like it's supposed to. And Todd made a comment because we're going to talk about fire pits tonight. And he says, a metal fire pit is the way to go. Clay fire pits can start to crack over time, which that's logical, especially if I had one in Wyoming, cold, hot, cold, hot. I'm just not sure. I mean, there's a lot of people that live by me that have those. They're like terracotta. They're big. I mean, lots and lots of people that have them. And Annette is here. Annette, hello. How are you? Have you been in one of my lives before? If not, welcome. And how many of you guys that are in here so far have owned a fire pit? Now, we have one back in Wyoming, and it's just part of the table. And so you lift out the center part, and it does a dual thing. And it either lets you have this one basin that you put ice in, and then you would put beverages in there. So it's in the middle of the table, and then the 4 chairs go around it. The other thing is a metal insert, and it's a fire pit then. You can put charcoal in there. You can put just little pieces of wood, just chop it up. And we've done that. And it used to be that when we had the kids that lived next door to us back then, they would come over and we would make s'mores, and it was just great fun. But it's not really a big one. And not that I want a huge one, but I want it bigger than what that little basin was. And so that's why I thought I would ask people what they thought. Anne says, we have a gas fire table. It's cheating, but we love it. On a gas one, can you roast marshmallows? Can you do stuff like that? I just don't know. Look who's in here. Gulf Coast Scrapper. How are ya? Finding you really good stuff this week. And the Vineyard Chicks. Hi, Bunky. How are ya? So fun. We haven't. I want one, but hubby says we can't due to how dry it is here. Now, see, that could be a problem. But I have seen the ones that they're really pretty encased, and there's openings in the metal. And so that you put the wood in there and then you light it. And then there's a thing that goes on top. But because it's open around there, it still burns. It has enough air in there to burn. And so I thought, I looked at a few of them around town that have stuff like that, because I thought, well, that's safer. Hey, Linda, how are ya? I hope you are having a good week so far. Fun. Now, make sure that you guys give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that when you do that, because it helps with YouTube when you do that. It's the like button. And so I started looking. I looked at Home Depot. I looked at Lowe's, Tractor Supply. All of them have various fire pits. I'm sure Walmart has fire pits. I didn't look, but I'm sure they do. Our fire pit is 3 stacks of concrete blocks in a big circle, and we left holes between each block. Now, see, that would be something I could make, because people use cinder blocks all the time down here. I mean, they make walls, they make buildings, they make all kinds of stuff. And so that's always interesting. Our issue is embers being released into the air. Well, you have a lot of trees, and so I could totally understand that. And because you certainly wouldn't want something to start on fire when it's dry at your house. And so, but here, I mean, we have trees, and I have my vegetable gardens, and I have my plants. But in our part of Arizona, though there are a few people that have grass, most things are gravel. And then they just have their pots or their gardens in between that, but there's lots and lots of gravel. And so that's why I thought, it should be fine. So we will see, I hope it's, I've talked to a lot of people around here that have the fire pits, and they seem to think it's totally okay. And I think part of it's because, I mean, we are dry here, but it's, there's just so much gravel everywhere. And which is a weird thing because I like green. And so that's kind of funny. Hi, Teresa. How are ya? How's your week so far? And I hope everybody that celebrates Halloween had a fun, safe time yesterday. I know my youngest granddaughter, she's just about to turn 3 in this month, in fact. She had things on Friday night they went to. They had things during the day that they went to, and things on Sunday that they went to, because there was, all those trunk and treats. There was things downtown. And I guess she changed outfits, a different costume every single time they went someplace. She didn't want to wear the same thing. But she has those, those Disney princess dresses, and then she was Catboy for one of the times. I don't really know things about Catboy, but I guess it's a superhero for kids. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Z had a blast. I've been getting a photo video put together. Oh, fun. That will be so fun. There was just tons of pictures on Facebook of friends of mine back home that their kids or their grandkids were carving pumpkins, or they were trick-or-treating, or they had their costume on. It's always just fun. It's fun. Well, Jake, how are ya? And Jake is from Texas. His wife is Ann. She has little Frenchie in Big Texas. So they have 2 video channels, YouTube channels. And anybody that you see in here, make sure that you check them out. And Nightbot will be popping up all of my different members. And so I went in and I did some work on them, because poor Doug at His Way Homestead, I don't know what Nightbot doesn't like about him. And maybe it's just that I don't have my lives long enough. But, it's crazy. And so he's always sending me messages. Sandy, why am I not popping up? I don't know why that is doing it. But I did think of one thing. So you'll still be able to see me, but I'm going to pop to another screen, and I am going to go into His Way Homestead, and I am going to copy Doug's link. And then I'm going to come back over. And his way homestead. And I am going to say copy. So there you go, Doug. His way homestead. And Doug is just my very special friend. We always say we're brother and sister on YouTube. And Angry Homesteader, how are you today? Isn't that a fun name? Because all of us homesteaders at some times is just like, ugh. So I can totally understand it. My Aussie Garden and Kitchen Daz, how are ya? And that's so nice for you to come say hi. Tell me what time it is in Australia. Right now it is 8:11 here, p.m. So let me know what time it is in Australia. It's probably totally half the day, a whole different day. Because I know when, because it's November 1st here, it's probably November 2nd there. Because when my son lived in New Zealand, he was always a day ahead of me. And so on my birthdays, he would send me a message. Happy birthday from the future. Okay, so it is 2 p.m. on Tuesday. See, isn't that wild that it does that? Daz, do you have a fire pit at your house? And I'm looking for a fire pit. I need the pros and cons of what fire pits are, where they are. Angry Homesteader, where are you located? I'm in Western Washington. Same time. I'm in Yuma, Arizona. Now, Arizona does not change their time. So when it changes this weekend, where I'm Pacific time right now, I will actually be in Mountain Standard Time because I'm not changing. So that always is a weird thing. And look who's here. Angie is here. I sent her a message. Now, on my phone, maybe everybody in the entire world knew this, but let me get to it. When you're on, say, I'm going to go to Angie. When you're on, I'm doing Messenger, right? Right down here is a microphone. I never knew what that was for. I didn't know if it was something you just ask. You can ask a question like you can regularly. You hold it down and you can do a voice message. That's a text message. And so my kids are probably going, oh my gosh, it took her this long to figure out that that's what that button was for. And so I sent all the kids a message. But when I sent Angie, I sang to her. I sang Angie baby, you know. So it was just craziness. And she probably thought, oh, my mother is insane. Look who's here. Emma, how are ya? Emma, do you guys have a fire pit on your homestead? Because that is my discussion. Oh, Angie says, thanks for the adorable message today. I was singing Angie to her. You know, it's an old song, and you know, I don't know, it's probably from the 70s. So every time I hear it on the radio, I have to let her know that I was singing her song. And and Emma says, how's it going, Sandy? It is good. We are liking very much Arizona. We were sitting out with my mom and dad after supper, and it was 79, 80 degrees, no wind, perfect weather. And so we were liking it. Okay, so Todd, I only use wood in my fire pit to roast marshmallows, not propane. It's not the same. That's good to know, because I would like to be able to make s'mores because I think those are fun. And I like roasting marshmallows. And so now Angie has one of those terracottas, you know, and I am just, and at first I was going to get one of those because a lot of people down here have them. But then I was looking at all kinds of stuff, and it was like, maybe I want a metal one. Teresa, what kind of fire pit do you have? And Karen is here. Good evening, Sandy. I'm going to get a fire pit soon. I think they are so cool. Have you started looking at fire pits? Because I'd like to know pros and cons on which kind to get. If there's a company name that this is a really great fire pit, it's worth the money, it's lasted a long time. I'd like to know. Same here, only wood in my fire pit also. Made of rock. See, I could make one. I could make it cinder block. I could make it rocks. There's a lot of options that I could do. Angie says that they also have a regular fire pit. Angie, you guys just buy the wood, or do you use charcoal in your fire pit? And if any of you see Doug pop in here and I don't notice that he's here, make sure I know, because I'm going to do his link over and over and over again to make up for all the times it doesn't do it. Teresa says rock, that's what they're using on theirs. Awesome. Now, I haven't researched, but I want to get the metal round ones. Now, I've seen some really huge ones, fabulous designs, that the metal's all cut out with the laser cutters. And then I've seen some smaller ones. And Joe and I really probably only need one that's, 1.5 feet, 2 feet across. So it's not a huge one. And I don't want it too big either. But I want to be able to put like 6 chairs around so mom and dad can come over when my aunt and uncle are here, or some of the neighbors that we invite over. I'd like everybody to be able to sit around it. So probably 2 feet across, maybe 2.5 feet across, something like that. And I've seen them anywhere from, I think the cheapest one I saw was about $250. And then I've seen them all the way up $6,000, $7,000. I don't want to spend that much money. But, I kept kind of searching down here on some of the classifieds because I thought, well, maybe somebody would have one for sale. But there was one in the paper. It was for sale. It was $450 on sale. Somebody was selling it. It was used. And I thought, man, that must have been a pretty penny when they bought it. If they want $450 still for it. Emma says, we definitely have a fire pit, perfect for cool fall nights. We're in hoodies, roasting marshmallows, laughing. See, that's my goal too. I think that should be totally fun. Make sure the metal is thick. It will burn through the metal fast. Oh, see, that is good to know too. I hadn't thought about that, but that is totally logical. Karen says, I've been looking on Marketplace. Occasionally you see one for barely used for like $75. See, that would be perfect. Girls, Angie has just like 1 or 2 videos on her channel. And I keep telling her, she does all these things, all these hydroponic things. I keep telling her she needs to do more videos, but she's a busy woman. And so she hasn't yet, but maybe someday. Emma spent about $100 for blocks and built it ourselves. And have you liked the blocks? Because I could see how that could look. That could look cool, Hi, AZ Highland Homestead. How are ya? I cut rings out of 250-pound propane tanks. The thicker metal makes a huge difference. Have it over 10 years. See, that's interesting because, Joe's very handy at making things. Teresa says, I used to have a fire pit. It rusted through after 5 years. I miss having one and may get another next spring. That, you know, I think you guys are right that I really need, even if I spend more, if it's thicker metal, it would last me longer. And then I always feel more justified in spending money if I can, um, that makes it worth it, because we also buy our firewood cheap from an Amish lumber yard. See, that works good. We just bit the bullet and bought a solo stove. Seems like a good investment after a couple years of hard use. And is a solo stove like a fire pit? Or is it just an outdoor cooker? Because I'm not familiar with solo stoves. And now I'm going to my Facebook. And the reason why I'm going to my Facebook is because if I set it up right, I should have, theoretically, it should be live on my Facebook. Now, I haven't ever done that before. And so I'm going to the posts, and it's not in the posts. And maybe it's a delayed thing. I'm not really sure. But it said that I could, on StreamYard, I could share it. And so, but I don't know. I can't tell on my phone anyway. But let me catch up on everybody here. Wife just told me I still have 2 baskets of washing to hang out. Well, you better get going then. I really should go get it. And as I said, I would do it 4 hours ago. Daz, have a great afternoon in the future. Oh, because Daz is Tuesday. Okay, so a solo stove is a smokeless fire pit. I will look into those because I haven't heard of that before. That's interesting. Thank you so much. That's so fun. And Angry Homesteader, how long have you been doing videos? Because I will check out your channel. How fun. I'm just amazed at the fun, interesting names that people come up with their YouTube channels. You're about to get all sorts of ads on Facebook for fire pits. I'm sure I am. It's, but that's okay. I will, I'll be able to look at them. It'll be fun. Oh, Vineyard Chicks. Bunky, you are just the sweetest thing ever. And look who's here. Hi, Lori's World and Mom and Grandma. Hello, how are ya? How fun. Oh, so you're a new channel, 3 videos and 55 subs. So everybody, after the live, you should go over to Angry Homesteader and check her out then. How fun. She's a brand new channel. That's totally exciting. I tell you, YouTube is a unique journey. Sometimes it is just so fabulous, it's beyond words. And sometimes it's hard, Sometimes you will get the people that are, but for the most part, the YouTube community is just fabulous. I mean, seriously fabulous. Hey, Chris, how are ya? Hey, is this a different icon than you had before? Because that looks different. Tim, Tiny Tim Posey. Hello, how are you? Oh, and look who is here. Oop, clicked the wrong one. Sorry. It's Steph. How are you, Steph? How was your weekend? Did you get my voice message that I sent you? Steph is the reason why I know that you can press that little button and hold it and do a voice message, because I didn't even know you could do that before that. So, Steph, I sent messages to all my kids today. Sent I figured out how to work it. She sent me a message, a text message that was a voice message, and it was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, see, I didn't even know. And I'm just reading all the chat, but I'm still going to be talking to you. But I'm actually going to open another window. I'm going to go over to my Facebook, and I'm going to see. So I'm going to go to my page. See, it doesn't have the live chat. I don't know what I did wrong, because I thought I went through all the steps that they told me to. I'm going to go to, yeah, see, it's just not there. I looked on my regular Facebook page. I looked on my Suburban Homesteader page. I don't know. Maybe it pops up afterwards, but then it's not live. So obviously it's operator error, totally operator error. And so, but we're talking about fire pits, and I am going to actually post Doug one more time. I clicked cap button, homestead. Steph, you'll appreciate this. I don't know what it is about His Way Homestead, but Nightbot doesn't list him, though it's supposed to. I checked. It's like everybody else. And so I decided tonight I was just going to post him over and over again, because what Nightbot does, like this one, right after that, Lazy Pond Farms is one of my members. And so it pops up with Lazy Pond Farm. Why doesn't it pop up with Doug? Nightbot does not like Doug for some reason. And Lori, you are so right. Bunky is the best. Now, I love all the Vineyard Chicks, but Bunky is totally my favorite of the Vineyard Chicks. And Bunky, I have a package for you guys. I'll try to mail it tomorrow or the next day. They are my rescuers, and so I had to do something in return. But I don't want to tell you how they came to the rescue until I do the video. But totally. And Steph says, roast the marshmallows for me. Very dark. I like them very dark. I don't want them to burn on fire, but I want them dark. And then you can peel that marshmallow off, eat that part, and roast it again. That's what I like. Or if you can turn it over and over until it's like golden brown, I like that too. I just like marshmallows. And otherwise, I don't really like marshmallows other than like a Rice Krispie bar. But to just eat marshmallows, no. But roasting them, like Emma says, slow roasted marshmallows are the best. So good, I tell you. Oh, that's so nice of you. Yes, if you give me a thumbs up, I appreciate it. And it's just, it helps with all your analytic things on YouTube. They're always looking for all these different things. How many people comment? How many people do this? How many interactions that they're having? And that's like choosing the favorite of our kids. Can't do it. Well, the other girls know I love them to death too. But Bunky, I tell you, she's a rascal. Maybe she reminds me of me when I was little. And that's why. Oh, look at that. Dad let me stay up to see you. Oh, tell your dad thanks so much. He has the best daughters. I tell you, they're so cute. And they were just showing us so many things, And I like how they feel just so comfortable in front of the camera, and they're talking and they're laughing and they're doing these silly things. And I think to myself, I tell you, if those girls keep doing YouTube videos in 5 years, is just going to be amazing. You know, they're going to grow up, and all of us are going to watch them as they grow up, and they will have just a strong community. It'll just be fabulous. Hi, Stella. How are ya? Lori's right. They're all fabulous girls, you know, just fabulous. So, what I'm getting from everybody on the topic of my fire pits, either make it yourself with rocks or bricks, cinder blocks. If I get a metal one, I need thick metal, not the thin ones. And there are some of you guys in here that are liking the propane ones, and other ones like the wood. I suppose total preference. Like my sister has this one out on their big patio, and it's a gas one. And I mean, it's big. It's probably 14 feet long, and it has this row of fire. And then if they turn it up, it has 2 more rows that if you wanted it to burn. Sorry, that's fast. And that is interesting. And they can adjust the flame, and they can do all kinds of stuff, and it's really easy. All you have to do is turn it on. And at night, it is very cool at their house. So I think it's really just depends on what you want to do it for. If you just wanted to have a fire pit and you're just going to sit out, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to eat some popcorn, have something to drink, just visit, laugh, I think a gas one is perfect for that. So I don't think there's right or wrong. But I think it's interesting. Oh, we have somebody here. Hi, Kathy. How are you? First time viewer. Fell in love with your video regarding making vanilla. Oh, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. And what I have is a Monday night very late chat. So it's 8:00 right now. And right now we're on Pacific time, because after the time changes, we'll be on Mountain Standard, because Arizona doesn't change. So it's 8:00 here, 9:00 on Mountain Standard right now, 10:00 Central. And my friends that are on the East Coast, it is 11:00. So it is late. And Emma says that they also have a wood fireplace that they roast marshmallows in during the winter months. See, that is fun. Now, back home in Wyoming, we have, the fire pit that's built into the table. And then we have a pizza oven that Joe and I made. And we actually got the clay from the mine that Joe worked for before we retired. And so I'd like a pizza oven down here, but I don't think Joe wants to go through that. Again, it was a lot of work. I mean, it was fun, but it was a lot of work. And Ann says it's 11:32 here. Ann, you are a trooper. And I tell you, see, you stayed up this late this time. I think you should tell me what Monday night, and you should come on and talk to me on a Monday night. And Gulf Coast, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that you stopped by when it was so late for you guys. And so I did find some online that are just little pizza ovens. And they come with a stand. They're not very much money. And I thought, I might get one of those for down here, where we have our big pizza oven up in Wyoming. But, everything that we have in Arizona is smaller. We have a smaller yard. We have a smaller house. We have everything is smaller. The bedrooms are smaller. The living room is smaller. The kitchen is smaller, which I have to tell you, it's kind of refreshing. I mean, there are things that I miss. And please email me. Do that. And Sunny Emma says that it's past her bedtime, and Todd says it's 10:30 there. smaller and more expensive? No, it is not more expensive. In fact, I am just amazed at how cheap we can live in Arizona. I mean, seriously, cheaper to live. Like, our taxes are about 10 times more in Arizona for our house than here. We do have a home, it's like a homeowners association fee. And now, not all places in Arizona are like this, but ours, it's only $150 a year, not a month, a year. The grocery store food is cheaper. The gas is cheaper. It's just crazy. Chris says, I might be fleeing Colorado eventually. Things aren't looking so good recently, and I'm not going to stay and see how bad it can get. Oh, that is too bad. You know, one of our boys and his wife live in Colorado, and things are a little crazy. So I can understand that. Mountain Grandma, I feel it's so expensive here. I think maybe it just depends on where you live, and actually, I think it's just a lot of factors, but where we live, and I'm just amazed all the time that it is just so, like in Wyoming, we have cattle. We should have cheap meat, or not cheap, but inexpensive compared to other places that they have to ship it off to. No. Steph says, good night from me too. It's only 9:30, but I have a long week. Steph, I'll be thinking about you. And I hope you have a fabulous week. Seriously, I do. And we're in northern AZ, so it could be up here that it is. And that's probably true. Like if we lived in Phoenix, I think things would be way expensive, because one of our sons, we have 7 kids. One of them lives in Phoenix, and his 1-bedroom apartment, I think, is just like astronomical. You should buy a house for that price. But it's just, where in Yuma, it is very inexpensive to live. I am just shocked. And maybe it's just compared to what we pay in Wyoming. So maybe things are relative, but it's interesting. My kids in the valley are struggling. See, I feel bad for young people, because both of them are working, and a lot of times you have to have such a down payment. How can they afford a house? Like one of our boys lives in San Francisco. He says there's just no way they're ever buying a house, because a house that is really like their friend bought a condo, like $750,000 for a condo, and she had to go in and do stuff to it. That blows my mind. I mean, seriously, it just, I don't even understand that. I'm not sure how expensive it is where your brother is in Montana, but here in Bitterroot Valley, it's very expensive. Yeah, from what I can tell from other friends that I have in Montana, it's expensive in Montana. And Wyoming, the prices have just rose and rose and rose and rose. But Emma says it's affordable in Missouri. So I think maybe just depends on where you are, And Anne says, I feel sorry for our younger generations too, because, Stephen is an engineer. He makes good money, and BT works. And for the idea that the whole time they live in San Francisco, that's not an option for them. that that's not a possibility for them to buy, because, $750,000 for a condo, that's a big payment, you know? So I feel bad for young people. And even just in Gillette and Rapid City, it's tough for young people to buy a house, So you know, it's interesting. But everybody, it is getting late and I've been on for 40 minutes, 41 minutes, basically. So I appreciate you guys coming in on such a late night. Thank you for all the input on my fire pit. And so as soon as I get one, I will do a video outside with the fire pit, because we cut down trees and branches from, like, we cut down Ellie's tree. She lives behind us. She's 86. And part of the tree was dead. So that part we could burn, right away. And there were some other branches from other trees that we cut that were, they were dead. So those ones would burn, and the other ones could just sit till next year. But everybody have a great night. I hope you have a fabulous week. I will be live Friday morning, and it's Friday morning folly for Friday. It's going to be silly and fun. And I am making a cornbread video with a little trick that I do. And I'm going to see if Joe will use the drone and take some pictures of how the garden is growing. It's growing like crazy, but it's 70 degrees at night. So of course it's growing crazy. And so I hope to get all those different videos out. Everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. All of you guys that were your very first time to stop by, I appreciate you, and I hope that you subscribe and you like, and I will stop over and see your channels. So everybody, have a great week. Bye now.